She's been on this huge healing journey. And then, but when her back's against the wall and everything's at stake and she goes into survival mode,
she says sport mode.
She's like, I gotta do what I know to do. And she even says it in that scene when Georgia calls her from jail, like when Georgia has accepted it. Like just when, and that's what's interesting. The second Georgia is regulating herself and accepting like accountability, Ginny's like, oh, absolutely not. What do you mean? Like now you want to do this? Like now, like there's anger, and it's like you've done this for less. You've done more for less. And now when it's like my daily life is at stake, now you want to be okay with being accountable, and now you want to take responsibility. And it's like, nah, I say no. And she even was like, and I'm going to now do what I've seen you do my whole life for you. And for her, that is an act of love, because that's how Georgia has loved them. That's the example of love that they've seen, is Georgia manipulate their people in their lives to keep them safe. And now Ginny was doing that for Georgia, but she had to, that included manipulating Austin in a way that at his young age, I mean, Ginny and Georgia, this is a cold job, because Austin watched, part of Austin's drama is he saw his mama kill somebody last season. Like, that is a thing that happened. Not just somebody, but one of his best friend's dad. Happened. I keep having, because I can't believe Georgia did that shit. Like, you know, and it was his little best friend's dad. Yeah. Not just anybody's dad, like his best friend's dad. And so, like, and then now Austin, you know, and he's bonding with, and he's feeling guilt, because Gil and guilt could go together real bad. And it's like their dynamic, where we can go into more of that, but I think it's like Austin and Gil are bonding in a way that Austin did not expect to bond with Gil, because he's always been the villain in the story, and rightfully so in some ways. But like Ginny went low, like with the, hey Austin, I need you to hang this on your daddy. I gotta make my father. I have to hang this on my father is crazy. That's a crazy ask for somebody who's still in elementary school. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Austin ain't even a teenager. So I think for Ginny to be like, this is the plan. Either it's your dad or your mom. You have to choose. That's a choice no child should ever have to make. And so many people do have to make it, but you don't leave that choice unscathed. And I think that's what I appreciate about this season, is they're not pretending like Ginny and Austin can go through this and come out the same way they went in. Because they're both, it's clearly foreshadowing a break. That like the pressure of this has, the pressure of the triangulation not being in order or whatever. It's broken. It's Austin's breaking under it, honey, because he was happy. Like, he had that initial, like, yes, my mom is out, I'm so glad. And then the day two, he was like, oh my God, like, my dad is gone out of my life forever. He'll never forgive me for this. I've lost that relationship forever. And Ginny gets to have it. She gets to still have that relationship. She still has her dad.
She's going to Korea for the summer
with her dad. Well, Austin's in the house with never being able to speak to Gil again. And I don't like Gil, so I even hate saying all this. And Gil was wrong for what he did to Ginny. He put his hands on him, and that was her, and that was a problem. That was a big problem. But I'm just saying that, like, for Austin, who's never experienced abuse from his father, that's a hard thing to wrap your head around.
It's a generational pattern about, you know, this love is protection, because you hear how Georgia talked about how her dad was in jail because her dad tried to kill her and her mom, right? But then there's that question mark there, because the dad called her.
They seem to be foreshadowing.
The dad called her and was just like, it feel like it's not all what it seems. But it's just like, it's trickling through the generations. And I think that we see the impact of that on Ginny. I am actually afraid to see the impact of that on Austin. Like, I'm like, he walked in that house and it was like and this is the same little boy who shot his dad, because his dad was like actively abusing Georgia in that moment. So we had that, and then it progressed to lying on the stand. So now I'm in this house, and you know one thing about them, they're gonna act like that it never happened. And you can't tell nobody. And he's in his bed resentful that he's in a situation, crying on that jersey.
Yeah, and on the jersey, his dad got him. And I mean, I did appreciate that Ginny said, "Can we finally can Austin go to therapy now, Mom, please?" And Georgia agreed that they're going to send that boy to therapy, and I'm fascinated to see what those sessions are going to be like. But to your point, they've had to not just only make decisions to protect those they love, but they've had to make cruelly unfair decisions. They've played God.
Yeah.
In a way nobody should play. You know what I mean? And like, it's like, you should never have to choose about, like, they've had to break the law. They've had to commit murder. They've had to commit perjury. They've had to frame people.
They
chose. But yeah, no, they chose
reality.
to. They do. But I think for Austin and for Ginny, because they're underage, they felt like it was their only choice.
Because
they could
it was
not
the power
see
dynamic.
Other choices.
Yeah, it was the power dynamic.
And I think that why I'm so excited at the foreshadowing of Georgia's parents coming into next season is because once again, they're going to show that Georgia is not born that way. None of this. It's once again the same way Jenny had to go through this exercise with Georgia and Zion. We about to see how Georgia became who she is. Because wouldn't it be crazy if the whole break in her personality is this narrative that her dad tried to kill her. The whole initial mistrust of men that has guided her entire life. Yes. If it's based off of a lie.
Yes.
And it's actually her mother who lied to her about her father. And I mean, and if I was the writer's room, her mom about to be Georgia 2.0. Like, you thought Georgia was bad.
Look at the parallels. His dad is in jail. Gil was in jail because of a lie. Granted, it was in response to her being abused, and so she was.
It was a lie that's the truth. But yeah.
Yes, but regardless, you know what I mean? So I mean, I can't wait to see how that pans out. But I think, like that therapist said, secrets are a sickness. And it's a sickness.
And Georgia is built a house of secrets, baby.